The casual musician said,
In my last video, we talked about the major scales and how to try to find the key of a piece of music using the order of sharps and flats. The tricky part about key finding is determining if it is major or minor. Now that we know the major scale pattern, we should talk about 3 types of minor scale patterns. That's right, there are 3 types of minor scales for each key. We know them as the natural minor, the harmonic minor, and the melodic minor. But before we dive into minor scales, let's talk a little bit about the term half steps. There are some words in music that mean the same things, but different people just use different words for them. In this case, half steps can also be called semitones or halftones. As you've noticed, I use the term half step. They're all the same thing though. Likewise, whole notes are also called whole tones or just tones. In case you didn't know, a whole step is 2 half steps. As I've mentioned earlier, a piano keyboard is a great way to visualize half steps. For the major scale, the first and third notes of the scale is separated by 4 half steps. In the minor scale, we flatten the third note to create an interval called the minor third, which means the first and third note of the scale is separated by 3 half steps. One of the nice things about minor scales is that even though there are 3 of them, the first 5 notes in each scale are always the same. The only difference between the first 5 notes in the major scale and the minor scale is the third note. In the major scale, the first, tonic, and third notes have an interval of a major third. This means the notes are separated by 4 half steps. From C natural to E natural is 4 half steps. The pattern of whole steps and half steps for the first 5 notes in the minor scales are whole, half, whole, whole. Something interesting to notice about this interval pattern is that the first 2 intervals are a minor third, followed by a major third. In a major scale, the first 5 note intervals are whole, whole, half, whole, meaning a major third followed by a minor third. Let's use the A minor scale to start with because, like the C major scale, it has no flats or sharps. It simply walks up the musical alphabet, A, B, C, D, E. The interval between A and C is a minor third, or 3 half steps. You can play one of the A minor scales on the keyboard using just the white keys. Just start on A and keep playing the white notes until you've reached the next A. Now that we've established the first 5 notes of the scales, we have to finish them. Let's begin with the natural minor. We started with the intervals of whole, half, whole, whole on the A minor scale. And to make it into the A natural minor scale, we will finish with the next interval from E to F, a half step, then F to G, a whole step, and G to A, a whole step. When we put it all together, the natural minor scale interval pattern is whole, half, whole, whole, half, whole, whole. In this scale, the leading tone is not a half step away from the tonic like the major scale interval pattern, but a whole step away. This is the scale that you can play A to A on the keyboard using only white notes. And the notes of the A natural minor scale are A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A. The next minor scale we'll talk about is the harmonic minor scale. Again, the 5 first notes and the first 4 intervals of every minor scale of a given key are the same. A minor, A, B, C, D, E, whole, half, whole, whole. The only difference between the natural minor scale and the harmonic minor scale is the 7th note, or the leading tone. For the harmonic minor scale, the 7th note is risen a half step, causing the final interval to be a half step, just like the major scale leading tone. That makes the last 3 intervals of the harmonic minor scale half, whole, half. Putting it all together, the intervals are whole, half, whole, whole, half, whole, half. The A harmonic minor scale notes should be A, B, C, D, E, F, G sharp, A, the G sharp being the leading tone. There may technically be a 4th minor scale. Maybe. The final type of minor scale is called the melodic minor scale, but I have found that there are 2 ways that this scale is played. The basic fundamental to know about this scale is that the 6th and 7th notes in the scale are raised, similar to how the 7th was raised in the harmonic minor. This is the step pattern for the melodic minor scale. Whole, half, whole, 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 half. This is how to play the melodic minor while ascending and descending the scale. The A melodic minor scale notes are A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G sharp, A. When I took piano lessons a long time ago, I learned the melodic scale, as some scholars now call it, the classical melodic minor scale. I called it the melodic minor scale and hadn't heard of the other way of playing it. So, the classical melodic minor scale is the same as the melodic minor scale ascending or going up the scale. Whole, half, whole, 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 half. But the 6th and 7th notes are flattened back down a half step when the scale is descending. And this is backwards, starting from the top and descending from the scale. Whole, whole, half, whole, whole, half, whole. The notes change depending on if the scale is moving up or down. Ascending, the A classical melodic minor scale notes are A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G sharp, A, but descending, it is A, G natural, F natural, E, D, C, B, A. Back to key finding for a moment. We don't really think of a piece as being in a natural minor key. We just say it's in a minor key. That's mostly because of arpeggios and triads. Arpeggios are broken chords, in this case, a broken minor chord. For arpeggios, the first, or tonic, third, and fifth notes of the scale are played in sequence, ascending and descending. In this case, as we're talking about a triad, it involves those three notes together, playing them as a chord. Since this chord only involves the first 5 notes of the scale, it doesn't qualify as on a harmonic, melodic, or natural minor chord, because the only difference in those minor scales occur in the 6th and 7th notes. You can also change any major key to a minor key by adding 3 flats to the key signature. Likewise, you can add 3 sharps to a key to make a minor key into its relative major key. Keys are relative if they share the same key signature, like C major and A minor, all white keys. In the major scales video, I used E flat major as an example by using that key signature but starting the scale on C, making it a minor scale. One tricky bit about this is adding flats to a key signature with sharps. We're not literally adding sharps or flats to the key signature. We're either reducing the number of flats or sharps depending on what key we're trying to get. If we were in the key of G, which has 1 sharp, F, and we wanted to add 3 flats, we take the F sharp off for 1, make it natural, then add B flat and E flat, 3 flats. Isn't it interesting that you can play a major and minor scale on the white keys of the keyboard using the same sequence of notes, just going up and down? But it really depends on where you start and where you end in the scale. That'll open up another discussion, which we'll save for later, on modes.